Look at the unbalanced equation that follows. In order to calculate the mass of the reactants and the products, follow the directions below. So we have H2 plus N2 yields NH3. Count the number of each type of atoms on each side. Then find the mass of each element on the periodic table. So really what I want you to be focusing on is making sure that you have the same number on each side and to balance them out, because this is what we're going to be working on tomorrow. So you need to figure out what you need to do on each side to get the same amount of hydrogen and the same amount of nitrogen. You will not have to be doing this part, the mass, on your assessment. We have worked with mass in our previous unit. So what we are focusing on is the number of hydrogen atoms on the reactant needs to be equal to the number of hydrogen atoms on the product side. The mass of the reactants does not equal the mass of the products. The chemical equation as it is here is not balanced. When balancing equations, you may change the coefficient but not the subscripts. Remember, the coefficient describes the number of molecules of each substance that is present during a reaction. You can change this number to balance a chemical reaction. The subscript in a chemical formula determines the number of atoms that are present during a chemical reaction. This number cannot be changed to balance a chemical reaction because changing the subscript would change the identity of the compound. In general, when balancing a chemical reaction, save any hydrogen and oxygen for the last atoms to balance. It will limit the number of trial and error when balancing. If there are 2 nitrogen atoms on the reactant side and only 1 on the product side, you need to add a coefficient of 2 in front of the HN3. This gives you 2 nitrogen atoms, but now there are 6 hydrogen atoms. Multiply the coefficients by the subscripts to get the total number of atoms. Since there are 6 hydrogen atoms on the product side, putting a 3 in front of the H2 on the reactant side will give you a total of 6 hydrogen atoms. So we have 3H2 plus N2 yields 2NH3. So if we want to zoom in here, take a look at this. Okay, so if we do 3 times 2, that gives us 6 hydrogen. We have 2 times 3, that gives us 6 hydrogen. So we have 6 and 6. Now let's look at the nitrogen. We have 2 nitrogen, and then we have 2 times the invisible 1, and that gives us 2 nitrogen. So now that is a balanced chemical equation.